Go to school, get good grades, graduate, get a stable job, work 40 years of my life, and then retire. That was the life that was laid out for me. And I was this close to living a life that would leave me broke, unfulfilled, and ultimately trading my time for money for the rest of my life. But 1 month before starting college at University of Tampa, I got in a motorcycle accident that completely changed the trajectory of my life. I couldn't go to campus anymore. I had to switch to fully online university, and I lost my only job at the time. But this turned out to be the best thing that could have ever happened to me, and I'm here to share with you that story. Fast forward 12 months later, I'm running a 7-figure agency, making over $100,000 a month in profit at the age of 20 years old, working with the top influencers and online businesses in the game, and I've never had to seek out another job interview ever again. And I'm making this video today to share my complete journey. It's something I've never shared before. I'm not doing this to brag or anything like that. It's merely to show you that it is possible so that you can break your limiting beliefs, learn from my mistakes, and ultimately feel excited for the future that you have laid out for yourself. Now imagine you're me in this situation. Up until the age of 18, you've already went through 4 different high schools. Life has always kind of felt uncertain. You haven't had the right guidance and role models, as your parents are literally just immigrants from Africa. And so you've always had this uncertainty. But now you finally found the university and degree that you want to pursue. Hopefully, after finishing your degree, you'll start making about $200K per year. So life started feeling pretty good, and I felt like I was on the right track. Then out of nowhere, I got in a motorcycle accident where I was basically paralyzed. I couldn't move for over a month, and my mental and physical were just so drained. I was honestly depressed and just had nothing to do. Picture this, because that was genuinely one of my lowest points ever. And some nights I would genuinely just cry and wonder why that motorcycle accident couldn't be worse and why I was still here, because I genuinely couldn't see where my life was headed. And so this traditional path that everyone talks about, right? The American dream, go get a good degree and a good job. Like just something as simple as that just felt so impossible, as everything around me would just crash and burn whenever I would try to pursue something bigger. And that's when I realized something is telling me that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I made a change. The truth is, in today's economy and generation, the safe route is no longer the safe route. If you're having to trade your time for money while other people are advancing with AI and leveraging systems to make money, you're always going to be underneath. So I did what most people do when their back's against the wall. I started looking for ways to make money online to get myself out of this rut that I was in. And I quickly stumbled upon high ticket sales. It was a little bit different than what exactly I was hoping it was going to be, but it was a way for me to start making money. And so I started learning about sales. I started understanding procedures when it comes to setting and things like that. And I quickly started making money working with 30-day-old leads who basically didn't know what they were being sold, forgot exactly what they reached out for, and were so cold that oftentimes I would just get hung up on, or I would get called a vulgar name. And so it was a little bit of a grind, but I started seeing progress and I started getting a lot better. And this gave me proof of concept. I could make money online and I was capable. And so that mixed with my desperation made me grind my ass off. And so I'd work literally hours a day, like 10 to 12 hours a day. And when that first commission check hit, it hit like crack, and I was literally addicted to making money online. Quickly, my skills elevated and I went from setting to closing, where I started making about 10 to 15K per month at the ripe age of 18 years old. And I quickly realized that although I was grinding and making good money, which looks good on paper, at the end of the day, the millions of dollars I was collecting in cash for other companies was not reflecting necessarily in my paycheck. And as I was trading 7 days of my week, hours out of my day, I knew there was something better out there. And so that's when I hit what I call fuck it stage. And that's when I really took things serious and said, hey, I know there's money online because I made it, but I know I need more leverage. And so what can I do to actually start developing leverage? And I thought about it. I knew that I had solutions, and I knew that people had real problems that needed help getting fixed. By this point, I understood 7-figure funnels, as I've worked with multiple offers doing over 7 figures per month. And I had the real life experience of analyzing their tech stack, their funnels, their sales team, how they proceed about making money. And I knew that I could develop this into a product that I could then sell to multiple businesses to help them scale. So I hit the Instagram DMs and I started messaging the shit out of people. I'd do all types of stuff, comment on their posts, and I was basically just crying out for help. One morning, I finally got a response. A creator wanted to book a call with me. And so I took it and I got on that call, and he asked me a bunch of high-level questions, a lot of them which I didn't even know the answer to, and I would just bullshit my way through it, because that's what a real entrepreneur does, right? You just got to figure it out. And lo and behold, I ended up closing that that client. And that's where everything started. My first month with this client, I took him from $15,000 that month to over $80,000 in literally the next 30 days. And at 15% rev share, that paid me out over 10K. That in of itself completely transformed my perspective on the industry. I made $13,000 without ever getting on a call, without being stuck on Zoom all day. And I didn't realize it at the time, but what I found was something called leverage. And leverage is the way that you stop trading your time for money and actually start building a real business that you can scale infinitely and have a predictable income that grows every single month. Now imagine, I literally took a leap of faith. I quit a job that was paying me between 15 to 20K a month at the height of my career. And I said, fuck it, hit the DMs, believed in myself. And with my first client in a brand new business model that I never ran before with no guidance, started making about 12 to 13K per month. That lit a crazy fire inside of me. And so I quickly started educating myself, listening up on podcasts, asking people questions, reaching out for help, and seeking out knowledge that could teach me how I can take this income to $100,000 per month to $1 million per month, which we're on track to do. But that's basically the idea that went through my head. So obviously at this point, at 18 years old, having founders and business owners come to me seeking out my guidance and my help, and actually seeing that I could produce results brought a lot of confidence and brought a lot of ego with that. And so I learned how to outreach properly. I found solutions that work for every single company based on their client base and their archetype and their structure of their funnel. Now, at this point, the only thing left was sales development and then actually getting these deals closed for these clients. Anything after that results in one thing, and that's money in your pocket. And so today I'm doing over $100,000 per month with the same exact business model and the same agency monetizer at the age of 20 years old. And I'm only working with about 9 clients today. And I've helped other students do the exact same thing, as they basically just take the system that I use for my clients, they replicate it for themselves, and they go do their DMs and their outreach and develop their own agency. And so I've helped students like Mason, who did 13K in his first month ever coming into this business model. I helped Tax sign his first client, which was a company doing over $10 million a year on 15% profit share with the 10K upfront setup. I've helped students like Sammy, who's 18 years old, come into online business for the first time ever. And within his first 30 days, he did $18,000 in profit for himself in his pocket. And then I've helped students like Gus, who is just like me, he's 20 years old as well. He was closing full-time, making about 10K per month. In his first month, he signed a company that's paying him literally 15K, just one client alone, and allowed him to stop trading his time for money on sales calls all day. I've helped other students who are a lot older, 40, 50 years old, do the exact same thing. And so that's my story, right? From anxious dropout who's felt like the world's always been against him and never understand why things were happening the way they do, to a 7-figure entrepreneur and scaling at the age of 20 years old. And so I'm not telling you this to brag. I'm really just telling you this to motivate you, because you might be in a similar position to me, or might have went through similar situations. Maybe you're working a 9-to-5 and you have a boss who hates you and threatens to fire you, or all these different things, and you don't have the freedom that you want. Maybe you're in college and you feel like the classes that you're taking aren't going to lead to actual success in your future, and it's making you depressed. Or maybe you're an entrepreneur right now and you just your business isn't doing as well as it should be, or your agency is taking up too much of your time and you're still trading your time for money. Well, I just want you to realize that all it takes is believing in yourself, jumping into the right vehicle, and then going full-fledged with it, because some things that happen externally will always be out of your control. The only thing that you can control is how responsible you are to it and what that response is once you actually do respond. And so if I was able to turn my life around at the age of 18 years old and find the right path for me through such a sticky situation where I literally couldn't even move my legs and get out of bed, then I'm guarantee you that you can do the same for yourself and build a life of success within the next few months if you were to double down on what works. And so the point is, you have to one day take that leap. And look, if you're watching this and wondering what exactly do I do and how you could replicate it for yourself and want a little bit more in-depth explanation, then there's a link in the bio that's going to explain to you everything that I do. No pressure at all though. I just know that when I was in that deep, dark situation a few years ago, I would have killed to have someone show me a clear path to, success online. But other than that, if you like this video, like the video, subscribe obviously, and comment what your favorite part of the video was. Or if you want me to post about something else more in depth, then leave that in the comments as well. But that's all. You're a real one for watching this, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Peace.